regulations as set forth by the association to maintain high standards of conduct, competition, and relationship with member schools. Tonight's teams are friendly rivals playing a game representing their schools. As members of the opposing teams, their display of sportsmanship should be reflected by all in attendance. Your officials for tonight's game, as assigned by the AIA, are John Leonard, Nancy Milan, and Lauren Kruger. First, we'd like to introduce our guests from Northwest Christian. Coached by John Portman. Number 3, Naomi Huss. Number 4, Emmy John. Number 5, Allegra Polisto. Number 9, Betsy John. Number 12, Megan Propati. Number 13, Heidi Brook. Number 14, Emma Zakarian. Number 20, Riley White. Number 21, Chloe Graham. And number 25, Katie Preston. And in goal tonight, Addie Lowe. Now we'd like to introduce your Seton Catholic Sentinels, coached by Billy Baker. Number 4, Ella Bruning. Number 9, Caitlin Davey. Number 11, Sienna Buchhold. Number 14, Ella Probst. Number 15, Jordan Dahl. Number 16, Laurel Stoff. Number 17, Ellie Driscoll. Number 18, Ava Pongratz. Number 20, Maddie Galvin. Number 24, Maddie Breen. And in goal tonight, Alex Rivas. At this time, please rise and remove your hats as we begin our contest with prayer and the national anthem. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, thank you for the many opportunities you have given us. Thank you for this time together in the spirit of competition. Please help these athletes and officials perform to the best of their abilities and keep them free from injury. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
And good afternoon, coming to you live from Michael Eubanks Stadium, the 6-1 Seton Catholic women's soccer team in a big 3A Metro showdown today, taking on Northwest Christian. Billy Baker's team comes in with a record of 6-1, 2-0 in league play. Northwest Christian, an overall record of 10-1-1, 1-0 in conference play. These two teams met in 2025 with the Sentinels cruising by the count of 6-1, getting 3 goals from Laurel Stoft, and Ellie Bruning chipped in with a goal as well en route to the victory. New year, new teams, and both teams ready to show exactly what they're capable of. Northwest Christian, a very good squad led by head coach John Cortman. Once again, a record of 10-1-1, a squad on a roll. They've won 7 straight. They're coming off a 3 straight shutouts, 19-0 over Bourgade Catholic, 3-0 at Phoenix Country Day, and a 10-0 victory over Veritas Prep. Of course, the Sentinels, the measuring stick. For the Sentinels, they are riding a very impressive 3-game winning streak. 5-0 at Florence, 10-0 at Page, and a 9-1 victory in the Battle of Ray Road against Valley Christian by the count of 9-1. Sentinels, of course, going from left to right on your screen in the home red, and you've got the Crusaders in the white uniforms with the purple striping. So glad you can join us right here from Michael Eubanks Stadium. Glorious, gorgeous January day in the heart of the East Valley, as these two soccer programs looking for a key victory inside the standings. We get to the point of the year where all these games really start to matter, and that shot is up and blistered over the crossbar. So here is the Crusaders coming out of the gates with a strong showing on the attacking third. Seton, who made such a great run last year in the 3A finals, losing to Ben Franklin ultimately in the championship, returns a slew of performers from last year's team. And a team that has suffered only the one loss, and that was to Ben Franklin by the count of 5-0. So that was a championship rematch, and the Sentinels lost that one right here at Michael Eubanks Stadium. At home, they're 2-1. Away, they're 4-0. No neutral site games for them. For Northwest Christian, 3-0 at home, 2-0 at away, 5-1-1 in neutral sites. They've scored 61 goals. The Sentinels have scored 50. So Northwest Christian coming out of the gates, and in the attacking third, shot is up, and right there securing it from the outside is Alex Rivas, the sophomore goalkeeper. So she has been active early, and the Sentinels are going to have to start moving things on the mid and the attacking third to start changing the balance of this one. So far, it's been all Crusaders. Right side, Ellie Driscoll, and that's going to trickle out of bounds. That's going to be Seton on the throw-in. And going over is Sienna Boujold. It's a French name, Boujold, and that's how we're going to pronounce it. And the dad is right there, and he says, Joe, you finally nailed it. After contests and contests of getting it wrong, and that one was busted up and over the crossbar just a tad bit high. Sentinels now getting into a rhythm as Ellie Probst gave that a tremendous good spike. Both teams looking for a signature win. And this is a battle of heavyweights as both teams have 3A title aspirations. Of course, when you look at the standings, it's Seton on top at 2-0, Northwest Christian 1-0, Gilbert Christian 1-0, ALA West Foothills 1-0, and that is knocked away. It's going to be, looks like a corner kick for the Crusaders, and dialing that one up is going to be Emma Zakarian, a senior midfielder. And she is in that corner as we continue the standings. Page 1 and 2, Valley Christian 0 and 1, and Bourgate Catholic 0 and 2. And you kind of think Bourgate Catholic is like in the middle of Central Phoenix. How did they get in this region? And sometimes the things of the AIA just don't always compute. That one is inside the 6, and how about the save by Rivas, knocking it away just inside the near post. So right now it's Northwest Christian coming out a little faster and more prepared, Seton a little bit on their heels right now, and that's kind of what we saw when they took on Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin, experienced team, championship team a year before, tons of club players, and when you get to this point, when it comes to playing winter soccer, that is, you've got to be aggressive, hungry, because if you don't, there's going to be always another team that's going to take it to you, and that's over the crossbar, and Rivas fell back awkwardly, and once again, Seton survives yet another corner opportunity by the Crusaders. Crusaders coming out very aggressive. They've scored 61 goals. They're averaging, well, you do the math, and about the course of their season, 12 games, they're averaging almost 8 or 9 goals per contest. So they're really doing some really good damage along the way. Battle at midfield as Seton tries to start turning the tide just a bit. On that right side, Laurel Stoff more than capable. Laurel chips it up the field, and that's going to be secured by the goalkeeper, Addie Lowe, a sophomore. Addie Lowe more than capable. A very talented player between the pipes. As we kind of dissect Lowe, 33 saves, only 7 goals allowed. And the big player offensively is number 21, Chloe Graham, who's scored 13 goals to lead the team. Also, Sarah Johnson, a senior forward, has 8 goals to her credit. So they've got multiple people, multiple players that have scored either 1 to or more goals. Betsy John has 4, and number 10, Peyton Kowaleski, has 5. So they have got their share of goal scorers, and for Seton, Jordan Dahl is having a tremendous year. But Jordan Dahl is an all-out, full energy kind of player. She just brings the energy and effort, and she will outwork, out-hustle, out-physical the opposition. And that right side, good opportunity. This is chipped and right over Rivas' head. Just over the outstretched reach of her teammate, and coming hard on that left side was Betsy John. For the Sentinels, Jordan Dahl with 12 goals, Laurel Stoff with 7, Ellie Driscoll with 7, and then a slew of others with 2 to 3 goals apiece. Sentinels, very talented with this team. Just ultimately, as they get toward the playoffs, it's about taking that next level aggressiveness, coming out with a purpose and just going out there and just dominating the opponent. Not playing soft, not waiting for things to happen, but coming out there ready to own it accordingly. So far, no score as we are just a tad bit into this first half. Here comes the Crusaders. Shot is up, and Rivas off the one hop, and she'll secure it. So the Crusaders continue to make early first half noise, and Sentinels on the other side haven't really given Addie Lowe anything to really work just quite yet. Lowe has been on that southern portion of the field working on her tan as she is directly in the sunlight, while Rivas is battling the sun, and as she moves outside the 6 toward the top of the 18, then she gets into the shade just a bit. Sentinels have brought their fan base. A good amount of fans are on hand, as well as the other side for the Crusaders. Of course, Northwest Christian is located downtown Central Phoenix. a program that historically is good athletically in just about every single sport. And the women doing their part this year, coming out of the gates with a 10-1-1 record. Of course, the Sentinels knocked off the Crusaders last year by the count of 6-1, but different team. And that shot is up, and that shot is good and fired and scored. And knocking it home, number 21, Chloe Graham, outside the 18, and the Crusaders take the early 1-0 lead. Chloe Graham, a bullet. Rivas has been peppered with shot after shot, and this time it was Graham. Top shelf over Rivas, and it's the Crusaders taking the early 1-0 lead about 9 minutes into this opening first half. So if there was a wake-up call for the Sentinels, they just got it right there. They have been dominated for the most part in this game, and now it's the Sentinels trying to make some noise on the other side. The shot is up, the cross, and just out of the reach of Dahl. And just a good attempt by the Sentinels, a good attacking moment. And on that cross with a good delivery, can't stress enough how good that was. Sienna Bujold with a beautiful crossover. The good thing, it's so early in this one. The Sentinels with a lot of time to make up ground, but of course, here come the Crusaders with Chloe Graham getting that opening silo, and right out of the gates, the Sentinels, who've been outplayed so far, it's a wake-up call. And for Willie Baker and his team, we've seen in the course of time, sometimes this team in the last year or so, so talented that sometimes they need a little bit of a extra burst to get them going. And now it's the Sentinels starting to control the ball at midfield. Bujold on that right side. Little one-on-one battle, showing some fancy footwork, and she'll try to work it back to midfield. Crusaders, they answer with the steal, and little battle ensuing on that sideline. Betsy John, very talented player. Crusaders trying to methodically break the Sentinels down. In the middle, Emma Zakarian. At right side, Chloe Graham is there yet again. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. It's going to be in favor of the white and purple. Crusaders coming to town with a purpose. Sentinels looking to defend their home turf, and not always easy. Of course, the Sentinels have got an X on their chest. Everyone knows how good this squad is. They've been in the title hunt, making it to the finals last year. They are well known as Rivas comes up out of the box and giving chase. Once again, with Chloe Graham charging forward. And this is a good opportunity for the Sentinels to really, you never want to say getting a gut check early, but you know, when you take on a team like the Crusaders, who lost to the Sentinels last year 6-1, they're coming in with a chip on their shoulders. And this is, make no mistake, this game is huge for playoff seeding. So for power points for the region, whoever wins this game automatically moves to first place in the division. And when you talk about the postseason, it's all about getting the better seed in the bracket. The higher ranking you are, the better chance of playing a lesser opponent. That shot is up, and Chloe Graham does it again. A rifle shot, and the Crusaders now up 2-0. Chloe Graham, just about from the same spot, does it yet again. Graham, about 9 minutes in the first time, and this time at the 13th minute mark in the first half. And right now, the Sentinels are stunned. And Chloe Graham bringing the goods from Central Phoenix. Graham, who came in with a team-high 13 goals, she's got 15 now. And now the Sentinels looking to answer. And the thing about it, in soccer, when you're playing an elite goal scorer, they can never get too much space. And the Sentinels have given Chloe Graham too much room to operate. She has gotten some clean strikes, and needs to say, Alex Rivas has had no opportunity. Sophomore, both times were shots right over her head, and she tried to scale the ladder and knock him down, but just could not. So the Sentinels chasing a 2-0 lead, and now they're going to have to put their rally caps on their home turf and try to figure it out. And so far, Addison Lowe, the goalkeeper for the Crusaders, she's had a relatively easy time of it. Crusaders, of course, a squad that trying to make its mark and trying to make some noise within the division. And they are doing that early in this contest. Boujol tries to work it to the middle of the field. She was trying to find Jordan Dahl. Dahl fires it up, and Dahl, how about the big-time save by Addie Lowe? Addie Lowe getting up like a champ and denying Jordan Dahl. And that time it was Boujol on a great cross to Jordan, and Jordan did her best to try to rifle it home, and Addie Lowe, the sophomore goalkeeper, she probably stands about 5'11". She got up about 7 feet on that one. She scaled it, and now here come the Crusaders. And they are methodically, and there's Chloe Graham again, working it to the middle. Betsy John, and how about Alex Rivas with a big diving stop. Rivas has been challenged early and often. This Crusaders team, they came off the bus and they said, look, we're coming to town. We're coming to the town with a purpose. We're going to huff, puff, and we're going to knock some things down. A 6-1 defeat lingered in the back of the minds of the Crusaders and head coach John Cortman. A year later, they are now owning this one early, just about halfway through the first half. We appreciate you dialing us up on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Paulo Hutchison on the live stream. Paulo doing wonders. And I'm just waiting for any kind of soccer, Gronk, Freddie the Flamingo graphics. They could come rifle time any moment. He'll just rifle them out, and, you know, all of a sudden they will be about 5 seconds long and big time entertaining. Ball's going the other way in favor of the Crusaders. Weather, absolutely mint conditions. Not cold whatsoever. Simply gorgeous. Couldn't ask for better weather here in Arizona in the East Valley. Just came from New York City, and the weather was probably in the 30s, rainy, chilly, and New York City's vibrant. But you know what? As that shot is blasted by Emma Zakarian, and Rivas with the save. So the shots in favor, big time, by the Crusaders. Jordan Dahl, and of course, Sentinels trying to get Laurel Stoft going, to elite strikers that can change the complexion of this one pretty quick. But so far, the Crusaders have been a step ahead. They're going to call the foul on Heidi Browick, the sophomore defender. This one's knocked up the field, and the Crusaders have got some numbers on the back end. A little chip up, and Sentinels now trying to work it on that sidelines, but Chloe Graham is there again. And right now, Chloe Graham, the junior forward, she is a goal away from a hat trick in this one. And I think, if anything, if the Sentinels can learn anything from the first roughly the first 15, 16 minutes, is Chloe Graham cannot have tremendous space. And this one is booted up, and Rivas will secure it and reset her team on the attacking back row. And Graham immediately giving chase. Worked over as Maddie Galvin, the sophomore defender, try to get it up the field. But the Crusaders have had the answers at the midfield stripe. Riley White, a midfielder, number 20, has been rock solid. Now the Sentinels, Sienna Bujold. That right side, Bujold turns the corner, and that trickles out of bounds. Good defense right there by Heidi Broek, sophomore defender. She throws it in. So Broek has given a lot of latitude on the defensive side to play a little bit of the mid. And the Crusaders right now, that's their mindset. They feel so strong that they've owned this game in the attacking third that their defenders can come up and play the midfield stripe. And until the Sentinels can change the complexion of this one and start dominating in the attacking third, the Crusaders are going to continue to put the bodies up and put all kinds of pressure on the Sentinels forwards and midfielders and add that extra attacking back row to help offensively as well. Free kick, and looks like it's going to be Chloe Graham yet again. Graham blasted up, and that was just over the crossbar, but Graham gave it another tremendous rip, and the Sentinels are just glad that crossbar was exactly where it was. Or this could be 3-0, and Chloe Graham could be celebrating a hat trick in the first 19 and change of this first half. So glad you can join us on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Joe Pequeno on the call. Paulo Hutchison on the live stream. And right now the Sentinels fans, they are restless. They want to see their team get after it. They've seen their team come out a little lackadaisical, and the Crusaders have taken it to them. Payne Kowaleski on that sideline. The cross, and Rivas will scoop it up. Sentinels defensively a little flat-footed. No one on Graham. She's gotten extra space, but even before that, they've had numerous opportunities. We saw those corner kicks inside the first 10 minutes where the Sentinels couldn't clear it, and they got multiple opportunities from the corner. Sentinels have not had a corner kick yet in this one. And this is another Crusader coming up the field, Naomi Huss. Huss works it over, and that is booted out. But right now we're seeing the Sentinels, even on that possession on the cross by Huss, Sentinels are waiting for the ball to get to them instead of going, attacking, getting the ball quickly. And that was one of the big issues in the loss to Ben Franklin, is that Ben Franklin came out hungry, aggressive, and the Sentinels have to start doing that. And we're not just talking about in the regular season, but when the games get bigger and better in the postseason, when they really matter, Sentinels have got to come out and play hungry. Or if not, I mean, they're going to be one of the higher seeds in 3A, but that won't matter. They play a team, a lower seed, and this one's blasted, and that one is secured by Rivas. Crusaders continue to pile up the shots. It's so in favor, it's not even close. And that shot was ripped by Riley White. Two nothing. Crusaders. Sentinels giving chase as that ball will trickle out, and it'll be an opportunity for Rivas to reset her team. Checking in for the Sentinels, number 8, Hannah Horniak, a freshman midfielder. And getting a breather is number 4, Ella Bruning. And right now, maybe it's one of those things for the Sentinels. They get some youth in there and get some things going. The steal by the Crusaders. This one's up, and Rivas knocks it down. Chloe Graham with yet another shot. Chloe Graham is, look, if she doesn't have a huddle highlight reel, she's already working on it and has gotten one pretty good so far here. A lot of shots on goal, a lot of determination. When you're a forward, you're a striker, that's half the battle. You got to be aggressive. You got to go for it. And this one has worked down the sideline. Bujold and the Crusaders, little bump right there. Payne Kowaleski and Bujold. And that's worked up the sideline, but tracking it down is Heidi Broek. Little bumps on both sides. And right now the Crusaders, they're giving some physicality. And the Sentinels, of course, got to play clean, but the midfielders and forwards, they have to start imposing their will. They have not done that so far, and they've got to really start putting numbers on numbers. It seems like anytime the Sentinels had the ball on the other side of their attacking third, they were going, it would be more like a 2-on-4 situation. They got to put numbers on, and good move as the Crusaders inside the block. Graham will dish it down, and that is knocked. And the save by Rivas. Rivas comes up and denies the shot. A good strike. Looked like that was Riley White on yet another attempt. And we talk conversely, if Alex Rivas doesn't have a huddle highlight reel, as this one's going to be a corner. It's going to be Peyton Kovaleski on the corner. The lefty fires it up. And that header almost gets knocked in off the header by Naomi Huss. So almost brilliant execution by the Crusaders. They get a header, and Huss was right there, and she almost got it in the near post. Just trickled wide. Sentinels breathing a sigh of relief. That one didn't go in. Crusaders making a change as well coming into the contest, and we'll try to get a number for you. Of course, that's going to be number 17, Sophia Munoz, a senior midfielder. Long dark hair, can't miss her. Midfield. And the ball continues to be worked on the attacking back row for the Sentinels, and that is where this game has been pretty much been the whole time. Sentinels collectively need to start getting some things going. And that was some good, impressive work right there. And now can they capitalize? And potential good opportunity. Ellie Driscoll. Driscoll, a couple moves. Worked inside. Shot opportunity, and that one is going to trickle wide on that right side. But finally, a good attacking moment by the Sentinels on the kick was Laurel Stoft, who really didn't put a lot on it. But it's going to set up a corner opportunity. The Sentinels first, and this one comes at the 25-minute mark. And talk about an opportunity to knock one home. And here comes Laurel Stoft, who's going to give it a rip. Kick is up. And that trickles out, and that was knocked wide by Maddie Breen. Maddie, a junior, plays a little midfield, plays on defense, does a little bit of everything. Sun is starting to set. No longer sun on the field. The goal keeps on both sides. Got it made in the shade, maybe a trickle of sunshine at midfield, and that really is about it. 14 minutes remaining in this first half. Dominated by the visiting Crusaders. Now some good bumping and grinding going on by Bujold and Peyton Kovaleski. Kovaleski has shown her toughness. And this one worked over to the other side of the field. Hustling and working hard over there for the Crusaders is number 5, Allegra Posolico. Posolico giving chase. Sentinels trying to clear it out and get him back up the field, and you can really see that Sentinels really trying to get the ball up to Jordan Dahl as well as Ellie Driscoll, but methodically they have to be able to get to that point, and they are really dominating with about maybe 3 or 4 players against the Sentinels' defensive back row. Of course, Graham leading the way with a couple goals, but the midfielders and forwards for the Crusaders right now, you hate to say it, they just want it more. They're a step faster. They're coming out eager, aggressive, going after it. And the Sentinels midfielders and forwards have got to step this one up. They've got to put more pressure, and they've been absolutely silent. Opportunity for the Crusaders. Good crossover. Shot is up the cross, and that is knocked away. Not cleared out. Another shot, and that is blocked yet again. Worked briefly up the field, but right there for the Crusaders is Sophia Munoz. worked over to that right side. Emma Zakarian, we've seen her. She's made some noise in this game, and this one is slowly knocked out of bounds. But right there, just you get the sense that the Sentinels got to find that hunger, got to find that next gear right here on their home turf. And right now, it's a Crusaders team, record of 10-1-1. This win puts them in first place in the 3A Metro. And look, I love what I'm seeing from Jordan Dahl. Jordan Dahl trying to go out there and send a message, but she needs help. She needs someone else to go out there and be an attacking force and putting a body on a body. And right now the Sentinels have to do that to try to force and, work some offense. And sometimes you put a body on a body, you force a turnover, and it leads to a potential big play. And that is won again by the Crusaders. Heidi Browick, who's been very active from her defensive end, from the attacking back row. Good move by Browick. Browick will shoot this one wide. So the Crusaders continue to make ample noise. .40 and change remaining in this first half. And that's worked up. Midfield, Brain tries to work it up the field. And you can tell Sentinels don't have numbers. They're going on 2 against 4 because the Crusaders have been able to dominate with 6 players on the attacking front line. So the defenders for the Crusaders, every time they face any kind of small Seton attack, it's usually they're facing 2 players, where the Sentinels have got to get more attacking bodies in that front row. Unfortunately, right now, that's not the case. Right side, little chip across. Worked inside the 18. Tracking, coming up, and kept alive. Bujold is there. Bujold in a battle against Kovaleski. And how about Jordan Dahl setting the message? And look, Jordan Dahl is now trying to set the tone for her team. She's a forward coming back all the way on defense, trying to win some balls, and she needs some help. And the rest of the team has to respond offensively. Now we see a good attacking moment. The Sentinels were 4 bodies. Dahl giving chase. She's in a one-on-one battle against Browick, and that's worked out, and that's going to be the Sentinels' ball. Browick hit the turf, nothing dirty by Dahl whatsoever, as they exchange complimentary exchanges of good sportsmanship. Bujold on the throw-in. Sienna, good toss inside, opportunity, and that is head-butted, and it goes to the wide side, but another corner opportunity. The Sentinels now with their 3rd corner. And working that right side is Ella Bruning. Ella, a senior, she's been through a lot of tremendous battles for the Sentinels. Bruning eyeing it, works it, and that one is knocked away last second. I want to say it was Browick yet again who comes up with the save. That looked like that was going in, and yes, big credit to Heidi Browick, who might have kept the Sentinels off the scoreboard. That was a beautiful corner kick inside the 18, point blank look, and Browick was just to the right or left on your screen from Addie Lowe to deny a point blank look. That was the Sentinels' best opportunity. But in this last couple minutes, a better sequence for the Sentinels. Looking much better as they like and want to hold off the Crusaders in this final 7 minutes and 30 seconds in the first half. So glad you can join us from Michael Eubanks Stadium, the home of the Sentinels. Of course, the basketball team with a big victory last night against Apache Junction.
Congrats to Coach Carter AB and his team. Now 17-3. They'll take on Globe on Friday. And the women's team is home on Friday as well. Of course, after this is part of the day and night doubleheader. It'll be the Crusaders men and the Seton boys looking to make some noise in the nightcap underneath the lights at Michael Eubanks Stadium. And with the sun setting, we might get just a tad chill here. Might get a little colder, a little more frostier, but nothing too bad as the Crusaders making some noise. A little cross, a little bump over, and that is banged in, and the Crusaders get it done. This time it's Peyton Kowaleski. And the Crusaders on another great cross, and Peyton Kowaleski capitalizing and knocks it in, her 6th goal of the season. And the dominance by the Crusaders continues in this first half. And you can't stress enough about the great cross and execution and the Sentinels defense just letting players run right by them and set the tone. No physicality, and they just got beat. And right now they're getting beat by a team that's more hungry. And the Crusaders have come to town with a purpose. And they look like a team right now that, you know, if you get them in the playoffs, they play like this, you never know. I mean, right now, Ben Franklin is the team to beat, but the way the Crusaders are coming out, aggressive and hungry and putting a body on a body and attacking with Chloe Graham, and we just saw Kowaleski, and of course, you can't teach the skill on that cross. That was just execution. And then Browick on the back end defensively, helping Addie Lowe, denying the Sentinels a point-blank goal. They looked apart. They looked like a strong team. And as we look at the Crusaders, a record of 10-1-1, they have been impressive. And their only loss, or I should say, as I look at their schedule, they lost to Paradise Honors by the count of 1-0, as that shot is wide. And they tied Coconino at 1-1, but they're on a tear. They've won 7 straight, and in the last 3 games, they've outscored their opposition 32-0. And right now, they're on the way to shutting out the Sentinels in this first half. They have been the part of road villain. They are the Seton's Joker to their Batman. And right now, the Joker is saying, "Why so serious?" And they are dominating this one. Sorry, had to dabble into my inner Heath Ledger for that one. I watched a lot of Joker clips on the way home from downtown. I just got inspired by The Dark Knight. Of course, Heath Ledger, legendary in that role, which he won posthumously an Oscar for. But his performance as a villain is still, might be the greatest in superhero history. On the big screen, of course. Sentinels now giving chase on the back end. Crusaders looking for another opportunity. And you have to understand, you see the aggressiveness right there, and Chloe Graham almost knocked one in. And that right there, it's 3 against 6. So, you know, the Crusaders right now, they're just outworking the Sentinels. The back end, there's a lot of standing around, a lot of looking, no body, no physical contact. They're giving them space. You can't do that in soccer. And right now, as Billy Baker is watching from the sidelines, his team, you know, they deserve a stern halftime Luke Rockne kind of speech. Because right now, physically, they're not bringing the goods. And when you look at the records, and with the Crusaders coming in with a record of 10-1-1, if the record didn't get their attention, playing at home and playing in front of the home fans should. Sentinels. And it's Chloe Graham in the middle field taking it away. Graham. Now she's seeing a couple bodies on her. And that is knocked away. But that's a situation right there where the Sentinels have got the numbers. Instead of kicking it by Ava Pongrantz, work the ball back up the field and in the other direction. All the Sentinels are doing right there is giving the Crusaders another opportunity offensively to regroup on that sidelines. And for John Cortman, the head coach, he has to be very impressed what he's seen from his team. Kovaleski turning the corner. Kovaleski fires right into Alex Rivas, and Rivas knocks it down. And that was a situation right there where Peyton Kovaleski outworked the Sentinels' defensive back row. And we've seen a lot of that in the first half. Down to 3-0 with less than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. It's going to be a corner opportunity. Kovaleski, the lefty, is going to fire it up. Inside the 18, it's knocked. The Sentinels trying to clear it. A little bumping and grinding. Munoz is there, and it's worked right back to Kovaleski. Kovaleski in the corner. She keeps it alive. Good hustle by the Sentinels. Now can they clear it? And they do just that as Maddie Breen. But right in the midfield portion, the Crusaders have the answer. $1:20 left in this first half. Right side, Chloe Graham on the cross, right into Rivas. And Rivas secures it. And Alex Rivas has been peppered. And then some. She has seen all kinds of shots her way. And that is knocked out of bounds. Final 50 seconds remaining in this first half. The throw in as the Sentinels look to try to keep Chloe Graham outside the 18 or just from any space whatsoever. She's been dominant. Final 28 seconds. Bujold is there. And Kovaleski's right by her side. Worked up the field, and Crusaders trying to get one more opportunity. Munoz with the chip. Now it's a battle on the sidelines, and the final 8 seconds is going to trickle off, and that's going to do it for the first half. But the Sentinels with a lot to think about as they trail by the count of 3-0. Keep it locked and loaded. Short timeout from Seton Catholic. Willie Baker and his team with a lot of work to do, trailing 3-0. And we welcome you back to Michael Eubanks Stadium. The Sentinels with an uphill battle. They are trailing by the count of 3-0. Chloe Graham, couple goals, her 14th and 15th of the year. And then Peyton Kovaleski with about, call it the 33-minute mark of the first half, on a beautiful cross. She knocked one in. And the Sentinels have been completely outplayed. And we've just found out there is free pizza on the home side for any Sentinels fans that are out here. And by the way, they have a hot chocolate stand. And Sienna Boujol's little sister, Faye, my goodness, she went to town and made the ultimate hot chocolate. It was like 1.5 miles high of whipped cream and marshmallows all over. She is a hot chocolate connoisseur, a guru of water, chocolate, and white frosting. You can't teach that. And now we've got a picture of her, and this one is so cute. Her dad is showing me a picture of her as a little kid. And she's got this big smile, her hands are crossed, and she's just got a big mustache or maybe a little goatee of chocolate ring around her face. Absolutely fantastic. And you're saying to yourself, Joe, how do we get those quality insights? Because here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network, we dig. And if you'd like, if you want some sheer entertainment, my interview with Tommy Shepardson of the basketball team is getting all kinds of hits on Instagram. And I think right now, Paulo Hutchison, who's in charge of the live stream, told me it's over 3,000. And so if you want to check that out, we go above and beyond. We interview the players, we get to meet the parents, we find the quality insights. And the only thing missing from this first half, other than a Seton goal and maybe a little more pep in their step, is a visit from Freddie the Flamingo. I haven't gotten one yet. I know Paulo has been hard at work through Grok creating all kinds of graphics. So at some point, I'd like to see something from the guru that is PH. And when we talk about the guru of PH, Faye Boujol is the guru of hot chocolate. Paulo Hutchison is the Albert Einstein, the connoisseur of creating AI graphics. So I'm sure at some point he's going to dabble. Needless to say, second half, we are minutes away as Willie Baker, the head coach of the Sentinels, works his way as you see him at the bottom of your screen. Billy, a tremendously great person and coach. Now the Sentinels will be going from right to left, and now we see a little pep in their step. They're coming out, attacking the ball a little bit more. Ella Bruning was there, but as we saw in the first half, the Crusaders now flipping a switch, and they're working it. And that ball is coming up through the left side. They try to cross it over, it gets knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be a corner. So just like that, here is this Crusaders team with a record of 10-1-1. They've won 7 in a row. Now they're going to try to capitalize off some early aggressive play and see if they can make it 4-0. Sentinels try to pack the box. This one is worked just outside the 6. Knocked up the field. Shot is up, and Rivas with the save. And she has been everywhere. I mean, Alex Rivas probably has bumps and bruises all over the place from all the times she has been on the turf securing a rocket off the strike of a Crusaders player. Sentinels trying to get the ball in the attacking third, and Crusaders, and that's going to roll into Addie Lowe. And Addie Lowe basically, in that first half, if it wasn't from the great play by Heidi Broek off a corner, Seton had a shot on goal, and Broek was right there. Logue would not have got to it, and Broek was there to knock it away. Tremendous play, and that's why the Sentinels are scoreless as of now. Of course, when we look at Seton's season, the only time they've been blanked all year was the 5-0 loss to Ben Franklin. And right now, they've got an uphill battle trailing 3-0. And just by chance, if you're here at the Sentinels game on the home side, get yourself a slice of pizza. What makes for a better night? Seton soccer, a little hot chocolate. Have Faye Boujol make it for you. Extra whipped cream included. Tons of marshmallows, then a slice of za to top it off. How about the move from Chloe Graham? Graham dumps it down. Sentinels. And looks like that's going to be a offsides call, or it might have been a foul against Northwest Christian. If our good buddy Grant Wagner is watching up in Utah, Grant, the former head coach of Seton Soccer, we miss you, we love you, we hope you have a tremendous 2026. Hopefully our paths will cross sometime in the near future. Graham dumps it down on that left side. Riley White, she was very active, multiple shots on goal, but collectively, that was the story of the Crusaders. Shots on goal, it's not even close. It's probably easily 10-1, if not more. Jordan Dahl trying to change the fortunes. A striker who's just coming up, and Jordan Dahl will give you everything and then some. But right now, her play has got to be infectious. It's got to bleed over. Everyone has just got to, for the Sentinels, this has got to kind of be a rallying call as Rivas scoops it up, and Kovaleski was right there charging hard. Sentinels trailing 3-0. They're in first place in the standings. And as we touched on the standings, the 3A Metro, Seton 2-0, Northwest Christian 1-0, Gilbert Christian 1-0, ALA West Foothills 1-1, Page 1-2, Valley Christian 0-1, and Borgate Catholic 0-2. And once again, how the AIA comes up with their teams in certain regions leaves me bewildered. Borgate Catholic, of course, in kind of western central Phoenix on the south end, and doesn't really make sense to put them in this kind of bracket, but needless to say, they are. And feeling the wrath, a record of 1-6, 0-2 overall. And Seton right now, Sentinels have scored 50 goals on the year. They've allowed only 7. Now they've allowed 10. 3 right here. And their only other loss was 5 goals to Ben Franklin. And you got to think about that. That was a game. They came out flat-footed, and Ben Franklin, a team with tons of club players, just like Seton. Seton's got their share. Came out and just wanted it more. And that is knocked away for a brief second, but shot is up, and Rivas will secure it. But a solid strike by the Crusaders off the foot of Emma Zakarian. Zakarian had a good first half. She had a good shot on goal and ripped one right there. The Sentinels in front of their home crowd, and home crowd is now dabbling in slices of pizza. Also drinking up some hot chocolate. I like to call it hot chocolate. Hot chocolate is always so good, but hot chocolate is really not so perfect tonight because the weather is good. But, hot chocolate could be good on any night because it's just good, right? A little warm hot chocolate, throw a little whipped cream, maybe a marshmallow or two, and it's just good. It's fun. It's a fun beverage. And nothing is wrong with having a fun beverage on any given night. Here come the Crusaders. Graham on the cross. Left side of the field. Bujold is now there. In the middle of the field. Crusaders keep it alive. They get an opportunity from that right side, inside or close to the 6, and that is blocked. Sentinels get back defensively, but once again, it's the Crusaders kind of maneuvering their way and a little bit too easy. And right now, we're going to see a little bit more physicality from the Sentinels in the course of this contest. So glad you can join us right here from the home of Seton Catholic, Michael Eubanks Stadium, just off Ray and Dobson Road. If you look, you can see all the cars circling down Ray Road. Beautiful campus, and not to mention soon enough, the Sentinels are going to have a state-of-the-art brand new gymnasium that's currently being worked on. It's going to be the home of course, basketball and volleyball and other indoor activities, practice. And in the meantime, the Sentinels, they are getting all their work in at Chandler Prep, just right off Alma School between Warner and Ray. That's their home away from home until next fall. But Michael Eubanks Stadium is wide open. And of course, we are very close of ushering in the spring sports of softball and baseball. Soon enough, the young Jaden Reichen, who's part of Arizona State and the Cronkite School, he'll be dabbling on the mic, as well as Paulo Hutchison's array of talented broadcasters, just in case yours truly gets called on to fight crime in Gotham City or has to save Metropolis and put a cape on. Or maybe spin a web and save Queens in New York City. These are all superhero references because, well, needs to say, I read a lot of comic books. Joe reads books occasionally. Comic books, sure. I am dialed in. I don't know if Paulo Hutchison's ever read a comic book in my life, but I'm quite curious. If he has, he can text me and let me know if he's ever read one. And Addison Lowe with the easy save, and she'll just fall on it. Addie's like, I'm not going to take a chance. I'll just get down on the ground, secure this bad boy, and we'll leather it back the other way. Atmosphere, a great one. Beautiful night for soccer, and Paulo Hutchison has just said he has never read a comic book in his life. And all I have to say is, are you kidding me? Where have you been your whole life? Not one? Not one single comic book? I mean, isn't that part of anyone's childhood? And this one is busted, and that one is banged in. The Crusaders score yet again. A blistering shot and banged home, and the Crusaders now lead 4-0. A quality rip by Betsy John, and John went up top, went off the crossbar, and worked its way in. And the lead is now 4-0 for the Crusaders. And John now with her 5th goal of the season. And the onslaught, and right now that's what it is. It's a Crusaders onslaught. It was their quest. It was their mission. They were buried last year by the Sentinels 6-1, and they have turned the tables. They have come across the town, got on the school bus, and say, you know what? We need to do things. We got to go underneath the lights and get things done. And Addie Lowe will secure that, and she'll just fall on it. And that's a kind of a unique save situation right there for Addie Lowe. She'll just drop down and secure it, and she hasn't had to work hard tonight. One time, one shot. That's essentially it. Sentinels midfielders and forwards have been non-existent. Not enough aggressiveness and not enough physicality. Now it's Chloe Graham on that left side. Graham has got Kovaleski crossing. Graham coming in, crammed deep, and that is blocked away. But once again, Chloe Graham is going so deep inside the 18, almost in the 6. And the Sentinels have got to put a body on a body. Got to face her and put a body and let her know it can't be that easy. And right now, the Crusaders are just getting too deep, and they're dominating this one. Corner opportunity. And knocking this one from the corner is Emma Zakarian, who's got a little bit of a wrist injury. She's got it all padded up, but she's out there battling. And look, I love that. You got a kid who's, we don't know the extent of Emma Zakarian's injury. Maybe she has a bad sprain or maybe a slight fracture, but she's out there gutting it out. And that's will and determination. Sentinels trailing 4-0. And now they hopefully trying to get back up the field. But the Crusaders are there, and now they're on the counter. Working and just methodically eating up some clock. And Jordan Dahl coming up, and then Jordan's hustling, but she's on a 1-on-4 situation. That's going to be tough, and she spins that right into Addie Lowe, who's going to just drop down. But look, right there is a situation where the attackers for the Sentinels have got to go up and be close for a potential putback or a potential cross, and there was really no one that was in her view. They were in her rear view mirror, and, Dahl can't just stop on a dime and, drill it 10 feet back. And this one's blasted, and finally Lowe once again will secure it. And that stroke from deep was by Maddie Breen. So Addie Lowe, the goal keep for the Crusaders. Came into this one with 33 saves. 7 goals allowed. They also have Milana Seltzer, who is a forward and also a goal keep as well. The good thing is the Sentinels, maybe they're catching the back end. Maybe the Crusaders are starting to get a tad bit tired. Of course, there's still a lot of time and eternity on the clock, but it's going to be 1 goal at a time. 26 and change remaining. Coming to throw it in off the sidelines. She'll peruse the field. Ella Probst, the junior. And she'll throw it right in front of her, about 10 to 15 feet. Right there is, of course, Laurel Stoft, and that cross, a good one, but knocked away. And this is pitched, and that's over the crossbar. And a good quality rip on the other end of the field by Sienna Bujold. Sienna, her parents are here. Loyal soccer fans, they're here all the time. And I applaud them because that's what high school athletics is all about, to come and watch your sons or daughters play. And then, of course, for Sienna and her parents can probably validate this for me. They've spent a lot of time on the club circuit and spent hours on the field watching. And that's a commitment for parents. Please understand. We love to see our kids play, but the parents are spending hours, whether it be baseball, softball, basketball, volleyball, just watching and investing in their kids' time. And the reason why they do it, it's all about the LOVE, because we love our kids, and that's what you do. Sacrifice, you do things for them, and you make the most of the time. And this is pooched up the field. Coming up left side, Driscoll. Driscoll with a body, and that's knocked out of bounds. Once again, the Crusaders do a nice job getting back. Sentinels will have a throw-in. And comes right back in. But the Crusaders they are attacking. They refuse to give the Sentinels any kind of space. And that was just a great steal by Betsy John. Betsy John, right side, works it over. And Rivas is there just out of the reach. Looked like that was yet Chloe Graham on the other side, and that was Chloe Graham. And we've got a timeout on the field. Looks like a little bit of stretching necessary. Sentinels, Maddie Galvin, a sophomore defender, trying to stretch it out just a tad. And, of course, we know soccer is so physically demanding, a sport where you've got to be in great shape and you got to hydrate, because if you don't, Uncle Charlie will visit. And when I mean Uncle Charlie, cramping Charlie horses, and those are no fun. So being in great shape, A+, hydrating. And, you know, the course of the physicality of soccer, sometimes you take a wrong angle and you just tweak something, and that's never good. Crusaders going from left to right. Worked up middle of the field. Sentinels with under 24 minutes to mount a comeback. Of course, this is the first of two. Right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Right here at Michael Eubanks Stadium. It's been a while since yours truly has called soccer. Love the sport. As Rivas will secure this one. Soccer is one of those sports that you learn to love it because it involves so much physicality, and it's just really about aggressiveness and hunger, and a couple bad angles can lead to a 1-0 victory or a 1-0 loss. In this case, the Sentinels are trailing 4-0 by the lack of aggressiveness and hunger in their play. And they've given too much space to the Crusaders' strikers. Chloe Graham with too much space just outside the 18 in that upper right side. And then Kovaleski off a good cross. And then we just saw Betsy John a short time ago. Knocked one from the left side off the crossbar and trickled in. And that is where we are. And Addison Lowe is going to look back at this one and say, you know what? I might not have to wash my jersey. But in fairness, she's going to, for all the saves that she's literally just kind of laid down on to secure it, to make sure it was safe. And Crusaders, they've got a 2-on-2. Now it's going to be on 3-on-2 as Probst comes back. And the Sentinels do a nice job of intercepting and trying to counter. And the good aggressive play by the Crusaders keeps it alive on the sidelines. 21:55 left, and for the Crusaders, they're okay with the ball being knocked out of bounds as they'll get the throw-in. And they're going to work that in off the sidelines with Megan Propati, a junior defender. And Jordan Dahl giving chase, and Addie Lowe works it back up to her attacking back row. Now it's the Crusaders. And you know, if you're the Sentinels, you're down 4-0. You got to put more pressure on the ball. You've got to take some chances, and you just got to like bring everyone up and hope for a turnover and try to put some kind of pressure on Lowe, who's had a relatively easy night. I'm not sure what she has in high school, whether, you know, for Lowe, sophomore, maybe she's in the middle of geometry or biology, but she could have broke out a little coffee table and chair and did a little studying in her back end, because she's been relatively a non-factor where she's had such an easy night because of the lack of pressure and attacking by the Sentinels. And there she is. As I call for it, Paulo dials it up. There you see Addie Lowe, blue jersey, blue socks, just kind of scoping things out and being like, yeah, life's pretty good. We're closing in potentially on being 11-1-1. Of course, last time these two teams met, that's fired up and now ripped from the side, and that goes just wide. And that was Chloe Graham with nearly her hat trick on the night. Graham, she's already got 2 goals. She got them going at the 9-minute mark and the 13-minute mark. And in both cases, she just had too much space. And once again, we saw it right there. First of 2 tonight from Michael Eubanks Stadium. Coming up later, it's the boys' teams. The boys looking to make some noise. And once again, if you make it out to Michael Eubanks Stadium, we've got some free pizza for you. Yeah, on the home side. A little soft crust and toppings, and looks like a little pepperoni. And we got some hot chocolate for you as well. There's like a make your own hot chocolate stand, which is absolutely fantastic. And I applaud the good people at Seton for providing the refreshments for the home team. It's always a good time. And there is a little bit of a glance of the hot chocolate scenario right there. Or that might be more of the pizza area. But Paulo trying to provide plenty of camera angles as Jordan Dahl was hustling in. 4-0. Of course, the boys basketball team taking on Globe Friday night. The women at home at Chandler Prep, of course. And baseball and softball just right around the corner. Brooke Zulaga will lead the softball team. She's on her way to play softball at Miami of Ohio. Brooke, a tremendous example of hard work, and now shot was ripped, and a good one, and Lowe finally sees a shot on goal. We're going to say that was, we dial in a number by Ellie Driscoll. So, but once again, that was a kind of a point blank. Lowe had a lot of time to kind of secure it.
Go get in the box.
And Ella Bruning on that left side. Sentinels are going to have a lot to talk about tonight after this contest. This one is going to be kind of a gut check to where they want to go, as Bruning will throw it in. Giving chase is Laurel Stoft, and Stoft has been kept in check. And Laurel Stoft had a tremendous year last year. Over 20 goals, fantastic season. Of course, her sister Emma Stoft is playing collegiately, and that's ripped up. Maddie Galvin worked that right into Addie Lowe, and Addie Lowe, that might be the signature, her signature style of falling on the leather. But right now for the Sentinels, you got to take chances, and I would just pull everyone up, because at this point you got nothing to lose. You're down 4-0. You haven't really made any kind of noise. Just bring everyone up and force potentially a turnover. And if they get a soft goal, they get a soft goal. But at this point, you've got to put pressure on and try to make something happen with a potential turnover. Yours truly has never coached soccer. I'm just giving you kind of the armchair quarterback, the armchair Pele version of what I think should happen right now. Soak it in as you take a look at Billy Baker on the sidelines, and Billy obviously not happy with what he's seeing, and rightfully so. His team at home, and kind of talk about Seton, and they were riding a modest 3-game winning streak, and they haven't played in 6 days. So they were coming off a big 9-1 victory against Valley Christian, but they've come out aggressively flat in this one. And in a battle of Crusaders versus Sentinels, the Crusaders with the quest, and the Crusaders have been the much better team. And I'm still shocked at this point. Paulo Hutchinson hasn't dialed up any Grok videos. Nothing with Freddie the Flamingo. It's Jordan Dahl, and Dahl, Addie Lowe comes outside the 6 and secures it. And Jordan Dahl going right into Addie Lowe with 15 minutes remaining. Sentinels will have some time to think about this one. They'll get back on the field and take on Borgade Catholic. That's going to be on the 20th. So if today's Wednesday, we'll call that Tuesday next week right here. So you got to figure it's going to be a combination of the boys and girls. So it says as of now scheduled for 4, but that could be a fluid situation, could move to 5. This game was originally scheduled for 4, and the hour pushback didn't help the Sentinels either way. And trailing and looking up. And of course, when you kind of talk about the season, slowly but surely, you get to that point where things start kind of winding down. And Paulo Hutchinson just told me, we talked about him reading comic books. He says, I read books without pictures. I think that's a slight on me. And that's okay, you know. I mean, hey, some people have got to be smart geniuses that create their own software companies and do things of that nature. And one of us know, history, origins, and stories. And Rivas, yet another save between the 6. So the Sentinels will go back to work. And they're trying to find a silver lining as this one is Jordan Dahl try to beat a defender and goes right into Addie Lowe. I love Jordan Dahl's energy. She's always bringing it, and she's out there battling all the time. And I know she's not going to be happy with this collective team performance, nor should anyone on the team. They should let this one soak in and really reflect on what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish, and really wipe this from their memory. But realize when they get to the playoffs, they've got to bring more energy and physicality. And that's the big thing. You've got to bring the energy. You've got to bring the physicality. Dahl working away against a defender, and that's going to trickle out. She could not keep it alive. It's going to be a goal kick for the Crusaders. Gorgeous night for soccer. Pizza on hand. Hot chocolate on hand. Only thing we're missing is, once again, Freddie the Flamingo. This would be a good time to see Freddie kind of strut his stuff on the sidelines as we wait for the goal kick. And that's just worked in the back row, and why not? Crusaders have worked their way, and Paulo's got his sidekick, Lenny, watching the game from the truck, his production truck, that white truck just on the home side right there, and Lenny the dog just kind of dialed in watching. He's like the unofficial mascot of Seton. Tremendously loving dog. Dogs are great. If you don't ever interact with one, if you've never had one, all they want is some loyalty and love. Feed them, give them some water, and they'll be there for you forever. I can tell you whenever. And there he is. How about Lenny? Huh? Check him out. You see that big schnoz working his little beak in there, and get a little side view in the rearview mirror, and that's a tremendous look. If only he knew we were talking about him. You know, they say dogs have 6 senses, and I wonder if Lenny knew, he would give us more of a look, and maybe get a paw out as well and kind of wave to us from the van. I digress as we're down to the final 11 minutes in this one. So glad you can join us in the first of 2. Boys action coming up next. The Seton boys taking on the Crusaders for region bragging rights and, of course, for standings as well. As we look at the Sentinel schedule, they got Northwest Christian tonight, Bourgade next week, and it's all part of, after tonight, they'll have 4 games left. And then, you know, when you get out of that first week of February, the seedings come out, and the Sentinels will be on the field for the postseason. And make no mistake, this is a playoff team. The question is, where will they go? If they come out with the lack of physicality and aggressiveness, you know, they can easily, and that shot is up, and that trickles in, and another goal scored by the Crusaders. But it looks like we might have an offsides call, and that was the case. And we look like we might have an injury on the field, and And we saw that with Maddie Galvin earlier. Looked like she was trying to stretch out. Looks like she's got, maybe some cramping going in that calf muscle. And it's warm. It's also one of those things where it's like, maybe the lack of hydration, and now Willie Baker and the trainer are going out to take a look. And while they take a look, we'll take a short time out from Michael Eubanks Stadium. Tommy Shepardson, and I think right now, Tommy Shepherdson's got all the Seton players. Let me help Tommy, because Tommy is a good athlete, maybe not so skilled on the microphone, but he's all there. So Tommy Shepardson, he's got the whole Seton team behind you. And all I was going to say is, Tommy Boy drops 10 points! Tommy, what was it like out there? Just get loose, provide some quality minutes, and have a good time with your teammates out there.
It felt great to use the minutes. I mean, I love playing with all these guys. They're all great guys. It felt great to get out there.
Yeah, and what was it like? Because, the frontline guys got all the minutes, they got things situated, and then I could tell, man, it meant something to you to be out there to provide some energy and effort. And you look like, man, anytime you're around the rim, you're like, you got to make it go down.
Yeah, I mean, it felt great. All the starters got their job done. Everybody got their job done. I'm just so thankful for them, and I got to go out there and play.
Yeah. Tommy, I think everyone on this campus knows what a great athlete you are. We've seen that on the football field, but to be part of this basketball team that's doing great things, what does that mean to you? Even though it might be in a complimentary role, but to be part of it. And we welcome you back to Michael Eubanks Stadium. Live stream was going. You saw the interview last night with Tommy Shepardson. Scored 10 points coming off the bench. Tommy, a great athlete in his time here at Seton Catholic. Played on the football team, was injured. Got some playing time last night, put up 10 points, was excited. He's beloved by his teammates. He got the post-game love. That's what we're all about in the Seton Catholic Sports Network. We want to give out the LOVE to all the great student athletes out there because it's all about the kids. I mean, our night is made with interviews, fun, and good times for all. And Carter Abey and his team, 17-3. They're going to be in the 3A title mix. Of course, they've got the elite scorer and KJ Fauski leading the region, scoring at 25 a game, and now they've got a dominant force down low in Ashton Reese, and Ryan Morris does a nice job having the basketball. Henry Miller, phenomenal freshman season, and Jackson Heim, athletic, plays on a volleyball team, a 6'3" athletic talent. He provides some juice, and he's going to give them the length and the body down in the post they're going to need. And they're back at it Friday against Globe. And the women will be at home at Friday night as well. And there is the ultimate hot chocolate maker, and that is Faye Bujold. Faye made the ultimate hot chocolate. If we can get a shot somehow of Faye in the top row of the bleachers, she's sitting with her parents, maybe at some point we can make that happen. Ooh, tumble on the turf, and that's going to be against Jordan Dahl. And Jordan Dahl, and there it is. There she is. Faye Bujold has made the telecast. Faye, wave. Wave, Faye. There you go. A big wave as she waves in the press box. Faye, wave that way. Okay. We'll see if we can get Faye on. One more time, wave, Faye. There you go. You're waving right toward the truck. Excellent. The ultimate hot chocolate maker. You talk about skill. Oh, my goodness. She's got more skills than Napoleon Dynamite. Of course, Napoleon Dynamite had computer hacking skills and nunchuck skills. Faye Bujold has got amazing hot chocolate skills. And those are things you just can't teach. I mean, literally, if there was a school, a class on hot chocolate making, enroll me tomorrow, and Faye is teaching it to the masses. And I guarantee there would not be an empty seat in that class. This one's booted up, and that one is busted in. And another goal for the Crusaders. And that was a big-time bomb off the free kick. And we talked about her injury, and here she is gutting it out, and that's Emma Zakarian. And Emma with her third goal of the year. Off the set piece. And it's now 5-0. So the Sentinels lost to Ben Franklin 5-0, and they're on the verge of potentially losing yet again 5-0. Once again, it's the aggressiveness of the Crusaders as they drive up off the field and now have another corner opportunity. And if you're Crusaders fans, if you're watching this back in Central Phoenix, you're like, wow, I'm impressed, and you should be, because this is a playoff caliber team and a team that can go well. Kovaleski off the corner. Knocked away by Boujol for a split second. Kept alive inside the 6 and knocked away. Just knocked wide of the near post. So a corner will make that a free kick for Alex Rivas. And Alex Rivas tonight, or they'll work it in their back end. If I had a Purple Heart Award, Alex Rivas would get it, because she has been battled from the opening kickoff in this one. Non-stop. She's been under siege the whole contest. And we got some great young kids here in the upper part of the stands. One with a Green Bay Packer shirt on. He's wearing his Packer pride, even though his Packers got taken down by the Bears, and the Bears move on to face the Rams, and you got the Seahawks and 49ers in the NFC side of the playoff bracket. And this is a year in the NFL where every game's worth watching, because any team, you hate to use the old cliche any given day, but this year there's no clear cut. You had Jacksonville looking like they were potentially having a shot to maybe get their way to play Denver in the AFC title game, and they were upset at home by Josh Allen. Josh Allen, of course, he's fan favorite, and you got to love the way he plays. And he got banged up so many times in the course of that kickoff, taking shots on handoffs and getting his head banged around, but still found a way to fight through it, and his team on to the next round. Of course, the Texans with a big win on Monday night, knocking off the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Steelers, stepping down after 19 years in Pittsburgh. And Aaron Rodgers, who knows what his future is. Maybe he is done. Maybe he is going to ride off in the sunset of Aaron Rodgers land, of whatever that entails. Of course, he's well-versed, well-spoken. He'll have his opportunity on the microphone, sort of like touchdown Tommy Brady, who's coming into his own on Fox in that ridiculous contract he signed. And as if life's not good enough for Tom Brady as is, and raking all kinds of zeros with that tremendous contract. Right side, and this will be worked out of bounds. Crusaders feeling good. They're going to improve to 11-1-1. Sentinels will have to leave this field, and collectively, it's gut check time. You're at that point in the season. It's going to be a corner by Ada Wazak, a freshman forward. Wazak will let it fly. That's a beautiful one. Rivas gets a hand on it, knocks it away for a split second. Might be an offsides call against the Crusaders. Final 2 and change as this one's going to wind down. If you make it for the boys' game, we've got hot chocolate. And Faye Boujol will make you a great one. Faye's still here. She'll man it. You want whipped cream champ. And now the boys, Seton men's team, slowly working their way up the field. And that's the nightcap. Crusaders men, Seton men. Seton trying to change the tide in this day-night action from Michael Eubanks Stadium. The women simply dominated here in this affair. And they were dominated from the opening kick. And it started with the lack of aggressiveness and the lack of physicality. Kind of reminded me of their matchup against Ben Franklin in the finals last year. Sentinels just did not have that extra energy as that shot is ripped from the left side and out of bounds. And the Crusaders playing hard to the very end. They're playing like a team that's down 3-0. Shot disparity so huge, I lost track. It's probably easily 16-2. And 5 goals. 2 by Chloe Graham, 1 by Payne Kovaleski. Betsy John made it 4-0, and Emma Zakarian 5-0 in the final minute, winding down. Final 40 seconds and then some. Shot is up, and that's over the crossbar, and that would be denied off the goalpost as well. Sentinels will fall to 6-2. Next week, they're back home, taking on Boardgate Catholic. They'll drop to 2-1 in the standings, and 3A Metro and Northwest Christian will move into first place. And the Sentinels' modest 3-game winning streak will come to an end. Final 8 seconds as Addie Lowe, the easiest victory of her life. And the Sentinels will reflect and have to do some soul searching. They dropped this one very disappointingly by the count of 5-0. It started early with Chloe Graham. She got too much space on multiple occasions. 9-minute mark, busting it just outside the 18 in the upper right quadrant. Graham again at the 13-minute mark. And then it was Kovaleski off a beautiful cross, made it 3-0. That's where we were in the first half. Betsy John, left side, nailed one over the crossbar, trickled in over Rivas. And then Emma Zakarian, who's out there essentially with a sprain or bad injury,